Welcome to yet another edition of POS. It's me and just Bobby here today. Bobby, how are you?
I'm just Bobby.
I'm just Pat, I guess.
No, I'm doing pretty well, man. Things are starting, as Hannibal from the A-Team says, I love it when a plan comes together.
He doesn't say that anymore.
What does he say now? Bitches ain't shit but hoes and
Well, I'm
tricks.
pretty sure that he's
Lick on my
dead.
balls and suck this dick.
No, I just meant he's dead.
Oh, he faked his death to get away from the Vietnam officials.
No, I mean the real man.
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Speaking of Vietnam, did you watch the Women's World Cup?
I don't know how those are related, but no and no.
The U.S. beat Vietnam. That's a first.
Vietnam has a sport.
That's a first, huh?
Team? But they have a team?
Yeah, we beat them 3-0. That's a first, huh?
Have they ever had a team in anything?
Yeah, they're very good at sports, especially ones that involve like gymnastics or figure
I don't
skating.
recall ever seeing Vietnam on anything on the. I'm 100 believe you. I'm just saying I don't remember seeing it.
When we've been good at the Olympics, they were busy doing stuff,
I get the joke you're doing. I'm saying for real, I've seen every country on a thing. I don't ever remember seeing Vietnam play the dream team. I don't ever see Vietnam playing volleyball, Vietnam in the luge. I don't ever remember seeing Vietnam.
Because again, their whole country was involved in a thing for like 40 years. So all the youth.
No, but you said they have an Olympic team. I'm just saying I don't remember them on the Olympics.
At this point, now they're starting to come back. But the ones they were.
Yeah, I watched the Olympics, the last one. It's not like I only watched it when I was 4, Bobby. I still got the. I'm saying I don't remember them ever having a team.
How much ice dancing did you watch?
I watched some of it.
Apparently not the gold medal team.
No, probably not. No, I don't remember that.
Like those kind of things where like slightly mutated DNA might help. They're pretty good at.
I watch almost every event at least once, just so in case I have to make jokes on it and like radio shit. So it's like
I'm just giving you a hard time. They're very good at the.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this beginning of the show, but all right.
All that was going on with the beginning of the show is I wanted to do that quick Vietnam joke because it's very time sensitive.
I didn't realize we're on stage. I just wanted to do a quick conversation about a thing you brought up, almost like we're a podcast.
We're not a podcast. This is a stage. My life's your entertainment.
I am not entertained.
Are you not entertained?
I am not. I sir, am not.
Turns out that's all that the emperor had to say to Spartacus.
That'll be it. I am actually not at all. It's like I'm gonna go see Barbienhemier.
Yeah, dude. All right. Sorry, Oppenheimer. How long is it? I know you know rap. Nobody else really knows rap that I talk to on podcasts. How long until Oppenheimer is like used as a reference via op? Like, everybody's like, I'm out there killing my ops. I am the Oppenheimer. I am like, who's going to use it?
They're going to use that. It's also, I think, Heimer is going to be rhymed with some shit you didn't realize it could. Not bad words. I'm just saying you're going to get a lot. You're not going to get the full word Oppenheimer. You're going to get ops. Or you're gonna get, it's like, I set the timer, I'll blow you up like Heimer, like that kind of stuff.
Boy, I'm an op. You're just a Heimer or something.
Right? Yeah.
Something. I'm hoping, based on literally that discussion, I'm hoping it's either Eminem or Denzel Curry.
Eminem and Heimer.
Yeah, that's good.
Eminem and Heimer is a movie I want to see. It's 8 Mile and Oppenheimer.
I am death with my lyrics.
It's a rap battle with a nuclear bomb at the end. On the radio today, that's the whole talk is who went and saw Barbienheimer. All I said on the air, they kind of looked at me, I go, it's going to be so silly like 4 years from now when people look back at their Facebook memories and go, what? Why were they combined again? Why was Oppenheimer and Barbie together? And they're like, oh, because they came out and said, yeah, okay, but why? Why would a movie about the most awful thing ever created and Oppenheimer come out?
See what I did Both there? Represent the pinnacle of mankind going too far.
Yeah.
Why is there a movie about Barbie?
Well, it's not about Barbie. What I did find out is, at least by some people that called up, I did find out that at least it isn't for kids, and it's kind of like remember when they made a Brady Bunch movie? And it was like a spoof on a thing.
I
So
heard it was like all about how the patriarchy's the shit.
I heard that the last joke in it is when Barbie becomes a real person. It looks like she's going to a job interview, but she goes to the gynecologist.
Yep, and she goes, "Now I'm a real woman because I have a vagina."
And then
That's
when
right.
the guy who was reviewing the show for us then saw Oppenheimer, I go, did it have the same ending? I got a good laugh off that. Oppenheimer just goes to the gynecologist at the end and opens his legs. You're like, I'm a real girl. And then good night, everybody.
It's a Japanese guy, and you think he's gonna go to the bathroom, but his dick just falls off, and he has a vagina too because of the nuclear fallout radiation.
You find out that's how they invented ladyboys through the bomb.
Probably.
Yeah,
Now that you
it
say
could
that,
be.
like, which way was the wind blow? How close is Thailand to Japan?
Closer than we are.
There are probably more ladyboys there than here.
Yeah, that's
And
they started.
where are the majority of our ladyboys? Las Vegas,
Are they?
right? I would imagine that's the pinnacle. I pray that's the pinnacle. That's where I consider the Sodom and Gomorrah of America.
I never thought
Where
of
did we do our-
ladyboys being there. I thought it was just hookers.
Of all varieties.
No, so I never thought. I don't know. I don't know
You know what?
anything.
As you pointed out, this is a podcast. We aren't on stage, so I can do something we can't do on stage, which is Google.
Well,
Where the
I couldn't
majority-
tell if this was a bit because you just kept pointing like you're waiting for like the crowd to go, he got me. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I don't know where I don't where are the biggest population of ladyboys? That's what you should look up and have your computer blow up. Your computer just writes back, what are we doing, Bob? What are we doing?
Too far, Bobby. We know how much money
Yeah.
you spent on porn stars this weekend. This is the bottom of the hole.
Porn stars?
I was just making a joke.
You can spend money on them?
Yeah, like on OnlyFans, you could talk to them.
Oh, see, I never think of that world.
I don't actually do that.
I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying that you would know more about that because of what you do with your everyday, because you guys talk to that kind of folk.
Yeah, and because I'm romantically linked to several
Hookers?
porn stars.
Romantically linked.
Although stars is kind of would you call somebody who plays Turkish league basketball a star?
Yeah, in their own mind. But no, but what's more of a stretch? Calling them a star or saying the word linked to romantically linked?
Linked.
Yeah.
I was just shit talking. I was trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
I know. I was like, okay, I fuck that star part. Can we get back to the part where you're somehow romantically linked?
Yeah, I'm like Jesus. I hang out with hookers.
So what's that girl you like? Plug
so-
Dog?
Puppy girl Jenna.
Oh, I combined two people.
Yo,
I
shout
think.
out Puppy girl Jenna.
Plug Dog would be a good one.
Hey, if you like to play Dungeons and Dragons and you want to teach a girl who thinks she's a dog how to play, hit me up and we'll set up a podcast with her. She's looking for someone to teach her.
What?
She wants to learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons. So I've got where are the biggest.
Why are you the liaison to this?
Because I want to hang out with Puppy girl Jenna.
You're such a creep. You're fucking. I hate you. I hate people like you. It's like you're the guy who's like tells a girl that used to be drinking and doing drugs, and you're like, oh, I'm sober too. Let's get coffee and just talk about our feelings as you try to finger them. You're fucking awful.
You're saying I'm the type of guy who would lie about doing yoga just to have something in common with somebody?
I would think that might be a thing you do, or lie about being able to get Dungeons and Dragons tutors for a dog human.
We almost debated Dante's Inferno with her, but she bailed last second. Anyway, I've got where are the biggest population of what's the noun?
Lady
Is it-
boys.
I don't want to.
That's the noun. Lady boys. One word, I think.
Dude, you want to feel like a horrible human being? You know what
Yeah.
the fill is right now? Where are the biggest population of ladybugs?
Ladybugs. Oh, that's nice. Do
Yeah.
both. Do both. I want to know if they're the same place. I hope they're both Vermont.
Thailand. Thailand is known
For
as
which
the
one?
land of smiles.
For which one?
Ladyboys.
Oh, how about ladybugs? Oh, did you know what I heard? Do you know what movie's going to be making a sequel after all this time? Freaky Friday.
I did hear that. My girl's
Yep. They
back.
signed her up. Jamie Lee Curtis gave her a call, and they got her and Lohan are doing it.
Ladybugs are located almost worldwide, but especially in temperate climates. They don't have a specific. They're not known like the
Is
lady boys.
yeah, they I
clusters.
guess lady boys don't need temperate climates.
No, although Thailand. Let's Google lady boys in U.S.
I've been
What's your
working
guess?
I'm working on a bit that's I don't know if I should say it, but like the premise basically is listen, I'm just a straight guy and I don't understand a lot of things in the world, but I don't think there's anyone more loyal or more dedicated to someone they care about than a fella that puts on pigtails and dresses up like a lady just so a guy can feel like he's not as gay as he is. I was telling my buddy about that. He goes, I go, I'm not talking about like a transsexual person. I'm talking about like the ones, like the ones that just cross dress. That's just a guy who's like, yeah, I'm a guy and I want to be gay, but the person I like kind of wants to say he's with a lady, so I'll just put on this dress and then just pretend I have a vagina for this guy. Like that is, there's no better commitment
That
to
is love.
saying I'm here for you than, yep, you can just keep calling me Susie. I'm Phil.
You can call me Ray, and you can call me Jay, but don't mention my Johnson.
Lady boys.
It would be San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I got HIV in San Francisco. R.I.P. Tony
Lady,
Bennett.
lady, yeah, RP. Lady boys or lady bugs. Which one was that?
Boys.
This could be a new game we do.
Yeah, this is our new hit.
Lady boys or lady bugs.
Yep. These are the
Man,
problem with America.
no, yeah, like ladybug. Like, they keep eating my tomato plants.
Lady boys? What a surprise. That's a twist. In Yonkers?
Rodney Dangerfield was in a movie named after him.
Both.
Yeah, I get no respect.
I get no pussy. So I pretend my cock's a pussy.
I think you morphed him into Bill Cosby a little bit. Like, okay, so now I get the pussy.
Bill Schultz kept referring to himself as Lil Bill today, and it just kept making me giggle because he definitely didn't get it.
Little Bill. What a fucking stupid ass cartoon. When they put that out there, I'm like, what are we doing? No one cares about that. It sucked. It sucked. And the art, it was awful.
All right, listen to me, little John. What you want to do is you want to take this Benadryl and put it in the girl's sippy cup. Then you can suck on the toes during nap time.
I hope there's a B level actor named Ben A. Drill. That's just like his name.
Is he going to be a movie star, Pat?
No, but he could be the guy first. He could be the first one to die in a space movie or something.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, that's it. Good space movie. Speaking of movies, I watched a really fucking good one. They clone Tyrone. Have you heard of this yet?
I got 5 minutes into it last night because I saw your rave about it.
You didn't like
And
it?
went, no, and went, I'm too tired to fully like enjoy this tonight. I got to stop now before I get half
Yeah.
in and no half. So let me just tap out and enjoy it. It looks great.
Once you get into it, I'm not gonna spoil whatever. It's just fun. Like I haven't watched a movie that's just fun in a while. You know what I mean? Like it's got yeah, it doesn't do just comedy. You're guessing certain things, you're trying to figure it out. It's the best thing John Boyega's ever been in.
Is Jamie Foxx in it?
Yeah.
Is it true that he faked his whole like I'm dead thing just as PR for the movie?
I never heard he was dead.
Oh, he was like in the hospital and almost like people were worried he was going to die. And then he came out and he looked like super flush. And people were like, it's a clone. The vaccine got him. It's like, no, he was fighting for his life. He's malnourished. Like, give him a few days. He'll be back to being Ray.
They say they recorded this thing like at the beginning of COVID. It just came out now. So he definitely could have been sick after. It wasn't just made.
I was making a joke. I apologize.
Sometimes your jokes don't always have the context needed for the audience to get them.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
Because I'm like, you
It's
asked, you went to a real thing, and I'm like, I don't know anything about him being sick now. I think I remember that.
Oh
I
no,
don't
like he
know.
he really did just like literally a few days ago posted for the first time in almost a year a couple of like the major, and I don't want to say like stars in the black community, but like people who knew him within the black community that are like icons were saying things like pray for Jamie, it's not looking good, and like people thought he was gonna die.
Like Urkel,
I don't
he's an icon.
know. Honestly, I think one of them was Yay.
Urkel was in a. I'd rather Urkel at this point. Urkel was in a commercial with Snoop Dogg. They both have lines of weed they're selling now.
Whose would you smoke first?
Urkel's.
Exactly, right?
Urkel's.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's called like "Did I Do That" or something. Whatever the straight.
Oh no, you don't want to smoke a weed called that.
Yeah, I know. That's like whoa. And I won't spoil the movie, but the cast is fantastic. Kiefer Sutherland is great in it. Like it's just really well done. And like
Wow.
Jamie Foxx is great, but John Boyega, for those who don't know the name, it's the black kid from Star Wars.
The real
And
Boryega, Pat, he owes me 100 favors.
I don't know that reference, but I
It's a
hope you
Rick
get
Ross song.
I hope you get them. I hope he grants you here, dude. I was watching Theo Vaughn and Mark Norman on, and I only can watch it for 5 minutes. Going, how are they not canceled? The two of them going back and forth, it was like insane. And at one point, someone mentioned Muslim people, and Theo Vaughn goes, "Wouldn't it be cool in real life if you rub them, you got wishes?" It's like, how are you allowed to say? And Mark Norman's response was, "Yeah, well, they can't do that because they always have to face east when they're taking a shit or whatever it is." I was like, "This is wild. This is a wild
You
podcast."
can't rob Muslims because they'll explode. That's static electricity.
I'm pretty sure they made that joke. Like they
Yeah, I
did
figured.
everything they could possibly do. But no, this movie is fucking. It was real
Definitely.
fun. It was a real fun. I don't want to spoil it. Whatever. It's a fun walk. Is it like, oh my god, like you're gonna be like talking about like the twist and turn? No, it's fun. It's just a good movie and all the guys are good in it. But
I can't wait to check it out. Probably right after this.
yeah, after this, I'm continuing to watching The Devil in Ohio, and I don't know if I like it. I don't like stuff with like satanic shit, and I like, but I started it, and I'm like, let me get through it, whatever. So I'm that kind of guy.
I've been watching Dragon Ball Z.
Is there new ones?
The Kai. I don't know if you're familiar with that versus
I
the
know of
regular.
things that my kids talk about. They don't really watch that as much, but I know they know of that, and I've heard that term.
So
So
basically, I don't know if you watched the original Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, but the Spirit Bomb alone takes 13 episodes. People were like, this is way too much filler. So somebody went back, redubbed it, made it better animation, and cut out like all the filler. They kept in the fun parts, but like literally just the stupid shit they made faster so it goes quicker. And Dragon Ball Z was a big part of my childhood. So I figured I'd check it out. And boy, did I tap out at the right time as a kid. At some point,
yeah.
wizards show up, and there's some dude called Boo who like just eats people. It's weird, but
Now, if that happened when you were a kid, when you liked it, do you think you'd be on board with the Wizards, or do you think no matter what you wouldn't have been?
no, it gets real weird. Like people morph together. Goku's dead, but he's not. It's not fun.
Yeah, I
I
watched my
didn't.
daughter this week. I watched Jujutsu Kaisen, the new season, like the first episode, and I liked that when the last season was out. But I still have to sit there and go, "What's happening now?" And she just explains it quick. I go, "Okay," and then like, "What's this?"
I prefer Jujitsu Smoky Barbecue.
Is that commercial? Is that a new sponsor?
Smoky Barbecue Jujitsu.
Uh,
So, how was your weekend? Did you do anything of sustenance?
I
Substance?
I rested on Saturday and I had radio and a show and a comedy show on Sunday. I all last week I had to do morning radio and then also fill in for afternoon radio. So in between, so I didn't have to Uber back and forth. I just stayed there. So like there was 2 days where I was on the radio from 7 to 10, and then was just at the studio from 10 to 2, and then on the air from 2 to 7. And then one of those days had to go straight from there to the casino to do a 10 o'clock show, to come home, sleep for 3 hours, and then be on the air at 9 a.m. to also do the 2 to 7 thing afterwards again too. So I enjoyed everything I was doing, but I was fucking so beat that my daughter came over on Saturday. We just hung out and chilled. And then like when she left, I went into a coma. Sunday I slept most of the day, and then Sunday I had to be on the air from 2 to 5, and then go right from there to the casino to host the last comic standing contest. So, and then this morning I had to be on the radio again too. So
Nice, dude. That's not a bad weekend at all, my man.
it's busy, but this is the time of year where I get to be on the radio because all the real people are going on vacations. Like I'll be busy for this
Yeah.
month and next month, and then it will all go back to shit in September.
But it's kind of nice because it syncs up well with comedy.
No, it's awful.
Okay,
It's
I
not
guess you're
syncing
not
up with
able to
comedy.
promote as much.
Well, no, I'm just exhausted, and it's like there's no when. And this, I don't. I think New York is different, but when you're living in a state, like when you lived in Pennsylvania, when you live in a state that doesn't really have a ton of comedy clubs or as big city supporting comedy, the summer is great if you're new and awful if you are a really good comic but unknown. So if you don't have management and you are a quote unquote headliner or closer, you don't make any money in the summer. Comedy's not there because they don't have budgets because people don't want to go inside. So what they do is if they put on these shows, they put on cheap showcases or a bunch of young comics are happy to get 10-minute spots and one guy gets $50, something like that. So my summer just dries the fuck up because A, I don't drive, and B, I don't have management, so I'm not getting put in clubs. I get gigs here and there, but it slows down. And then when I am doing gigs, it usually ends up being the same night or the night before. I have to be on the radio really fucking early, and I'm tired from all that shit. And it's just like a drag down with the heat and everything too. So no, it's like it's not signing up at all. There,
I was saying like since you have less comedy doing more radio, at least you're staying somewhat busy. So
no, it's a different busy
thing. It doesn't scratch that itch.
Right. I like it, but I can't. I'm not be able to be creative on there. I can work my crowd work muscle by sitting there in the morning show and react to things quickly. But when I'm on like the covering the shift, like 2 to 7, I'm playing music and then just doing liners in between. I'm not being creative. I'm just doing a job. So therefore I'm not scratching that creative itch that I get from being on stage. So it's like, it's the I like that I'm doing it. So I'm learning one side, but I'm not really getting much out of it in that regard.
Now I understand.
But this morning I did get to hit AJ in the face with 2 pot handle covers.
Interesting. How'd that go?
I felt awful. Like worse. Like someone sent it in. It was like from some Spanish country. And this woman, in translation, it's like the rooster challenge or like the cock challenge. So the second Jazz AJ found out you could say cock challenge, they wouldn't stop. But at first it was called the pothead challenge. And because that was AJ's idea on the play on words.
I like that. Yeah.
Right. So you take 2 pot lids and act like like those monkeys that do the symbols. Yeah. So I'm that guy, and I'm supposed to be just going boom, boom, and then AJ making a chicken noise is like going like this and trying to like time it so he doesn't get hit with these metal things. And so sometimes there's like a lid for a pot where it's just flat and it just sits on top. Then there's the other ones that actually have like the rounded parts that go in. So he brought in the too small so I can hold the nub rounded ones. And I'm, bigger than him. I got longer arms. And when they said it was going to be me doing it, I go, I'm going to hurt him. And he's like, no, it's going to be fine. They're like, just do whatever. So he's doing this. I'm looking at him. I'm just keeping a rhythm like this. And he's getting through. But I'm watching because I'm as much as you want this done, I don't want to mess him up. But at one point, Chaz, while we're live on the air, just goes, oh, this isn't working out. You're never going to hit him like this. Pat, close your eyes and then change your rhythm up. And I'm like, all right. So I close my eyes. And now I'm supposed to just like do whatever. And at one point, okay, I know we all joke about things. In real life, Bobby, have you ever really, really punched someone in the face?
Yes.
Like another human, full fist. And you know that feeling you get? Like, yes, it's supposed to hurt them, but it hurts not only your hand, but it goes down your arm.
It's a shooting nerve pain. All the
and, and then it feels like your funny bone almost gets affected. Like it's a whole like pull back. In movies, they don't do that, but in real life, your bones aren't supposed to do that kind of force thing.
Especially if you aren't like trained on how to hit somebody.
Exactly. And I've never been trained with pots and pans on how to whack a dude. So with my eyes closed and going like this, the video is up. I shared it on my Facebook, but they did a slow down version of it too, which is more fucked up. I catch him and so it hits both eye sockets. So not the nose, but it looks like it did like this because coming in first. So the top rounded parts hit, and it made this noise on his
Oh
face. And then
no.
he goes, huh, and then he goes back. But if you look, I also go back, and I'm like, oh, and then he just starts holding his face, and you can see a little starting of. He probably has a black and blue by this point now, and it like cracked him a little bit. So when we go to break, they're like, well, we got to mix it up.
Cut me, Chaz.
We got to mix it up. Like, we could stop. They're like, no, we're going to mix it up. So they had, like in medieval times, the big metal helmet with the knight helmet. They, for some reason, had one of those there. And so he puts that on. It weighs like 10 pounds. So like, well, if he's going to wear that, Pat, you don't have to have your eyes closed now, but now you could just try to hit him. So he's going like this and just dong, dong, dong. I rattled him like 8 times. And it's like 7:30 in the morning.
Dude, I watched a show, Longmire. That's
Yeah.
how this like nationalist fucking psychologically tortured the one detective. He put a baseball helmet on and just banged her head a bunch.
I did that. I was Longmire.
Oh, you were the free nationalist.
I was Shortmire. Okay. I was
You
like,
die in a duel with Longmire. You let everybody go. Longmire shows up. He's like, I'm the one you want. Let's just do this old fashioned style. And then you die in a duel.
and then like for an hour and a half, we're just sitting next to each other. And during breaks, I'm like, sorry. Say it's fine. It's fine. Like, you can see him like his eyes still tearing. He's like, he's a 60-year-old man, and I'm just light. They invite me, like, and they don't say to me over the week. They tell me that's the thing. I'm like, am I involved in this? They're like, well, you'll be there. And then when they're right before they do it, they go, all right, so here's how it works. Pat takes the potlatch. I go, why is it always me?
One of the little interns runs in. Come on, AJ. Wake up, AJ.
We don't have one anymore.
Just shaking his lifeless body. Come on, AJ.
We have one of the producers who comes in and records the entire fucking thing. Shaz doing play by play and Phil being in the other room, making sure he can record all the audio of the smashing. That's what's happening. They even got extra cords to attach to her phone now, so when she gets closer, she can really catch the noises of going off his head.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Chaz is trying to motivate you. You're a bum, Pat.
But no, but he's just
bum.
But he just goes, yeah, dude, this isn't working. Close your eyes and just mix it up. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. But it wasn't bad. And then they one of the comics that's also got hired by them, he's been doing like man on the street shit, but like at Comic Cons and stuff. And he got audio of from the voice of Duke Nukem. And so remember that video game?
Yeah.
So they got
yeah. I was trying to.
I guess he was a radio guy for like 30 something years too. They talked to him, but he did a quick Chaz and AJ and did like a Duke Nukem thing, and they were all excited. So like whatever. So.
Hoo-hoo, I'm Duke Nukem. They're ripping me off, Robin.
They said that his like his catchphrase. They said it. I didn't play the game. I've heard of it, but when they said his catchphrase, I was like, that's Roddy Piper's catchphrase.
I'm Duke Nukem, and now you know the rest of the story.
I kicked ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. He said that, and I'm like, that's Roddy Piper from them.
Yeah.
That's not Duke Nukem.
Maybe he stole it from Duke Nukem.
The movie was out first.
Maybe.
No, it definitely was.
You sure?
Yeah, because the way video games lined up, yeah.
Okay.
There was no first-person game in the early 80s. I was playing Pong, motherfucker. I had Atari with the tank going, dope, dope, dope. Q-Bert was cool. This guy with a snork head. I remember as a kid, we got Atari, and then I woke up late one morning, like one night after going to sleep. I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I walk out, and my mom is sitting crisscross applesauce for the TV, fucking just killing that Q-Bert. I was like, what? I just felt like the world is wrong. Why is my mom playing Q-Bert, and why is she good?
I had that same experience with my dad and Miss Pac-Man.
Really? You just find out your parents are autistic.
Oh, dude, that's not finding out.
Yeah, that's how I didn't. There wasn't a thing. Autistic wasn't a word when I was a kid.
No,
you were just a lady.
You ever watch Monk? You ever watch Monk and go, "That's my dad."
I guess I would do that if that guy was actually my dad. Tony, what's his name?
Dude, my dad kind of looks like him too. and it has all the same OCDs. It's nuts.
That'd
Good
be
guy though.
crazy. That'd be crazy if someone's like, "That's my dad." They're like, "Oh, he acts like that." It's like, no, that's literally my dad, and he has not seen me in years.
Maybe. Let me call Tony Shalhoub. I mean, Dad, real quick.
Tony Shalhoub. That was a name. I couldn't remember the name.
Come on,
Tony Shalhoub.
Shalhoub.
Shalhoub. I didn't really watch Monk.
It's you got to be depressed to enjoy Monk.
I know.
It's like a very sad happy.
Well, I know a lot of people that liked it. It's just TV shows that were on USA. I didn't watch too much. I know they had some good ones. I know they did.
That's the surprise. Is they did have some good ones.
I hear Suits was amazing. I never watched it.
And then that bitch became a cunt. Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle from Royalty?
Yeah.
She was on Suits?
Yeah. That's her claim to fame.
Oh, I thought her claim to fame was marrying the prince.
No, that's how she got famous. And then she literally went to England with like a B-level stardom and figured out where he was going to be and then catfished him and then went, hey, literally the symbol of white supremacy and white privilege? Yeah, it turns out they're a bit racist.
Yeah, I didn't know that she was an actress.
You could have fooled me based on what I saw in Suits.
I mean, she was on Suits, so it's like I didn't know. I know of shows. Everyone always goes, Mr. Robot was good, but that kid was too weird a guy for me to watch act.
Never got into that one.
I tried to watch it. Yeah, I don't like snarky.
It does get snarky.
Yeah, I tried a couple of them. It would be a show I would watch when I was stuck in a hotel doing comedy somewhere, and it was just on replays, and I'm like, I don't want to watch Supernatural, whatever the fuck that was. Is that what it's called? What was the show with the handsome boys? Yeah,
Supernatural's great, but
that and Charmed, you would see every episode ever in a hotel forever, and then I would go to the other things like Burn Notice or the one everyone likes, Psych. I just never watched it.
Oh, fucking Psych's.
No, I hear it's great. I just never watched it.
It deteriorated towards the end.
I mean,
yeah, but like both those shows you mentioned, Burn Notice and Supernatural in particular, completely different experience if you watch it in order versus like one episode, because they work one episode at a time. But if you watch it in order, they don't come off as douchey because they are trying to solve problems. But Burn Notice I fell in love with because we had a frat brother who was drunk with a knife in his hand, and I disarmed him using a technique Michael Weston taught me. I went, holy shit, this works. Turns out it doesn't work, but if somebody's drunk and you yell Michael Weston in their face really loud,
yeah, that would throw me off. Like Michael Weston.
But you had a pretty marathonable weekend. Yeah, I also had a pretty marathonable weekend.
Marathonable? Is that a word?
Marathon of a? I'm just talking.
Oh, marathon of a. I thought you said you had a marathonable weekend. I'm like, and you're like, I had a marathonable. I'm like, are we just going to lean into this being a word? Because I'm on board. Marathonable. We could make that a t-shirt for no reason and just people would buy that. Doesn't say our podcast or anything. They would just buy hashtag marathonable. It's just idiots running or people buying a lot of food. Or fat TV people. Yeah, TV binge watching. Oh, there's so much you could do with marathonable. We should do that.
Yeah, I'm in. Marathonable. The new Marathonable podcast.
It's also a marathon for the ableist.
Yeah.
Marathonable.
You get the fuck out of that wheelchair or you get the fuck out of my race.
Look at me not wheeling around.
But perfect segue and kind of pun intended. Speaking of people in wheelchairs, Friday, Crip Daddy's album released and hit #1 on the charts.
The regular charts or like the handicap charts?
The regular comedy charts.
Nice. That's the same thing.
And I mean, it was all day. We were fighting off one album was #1, and we were just trying to edge her out. And I don't know why Maria Bamford hates kids in wheelchairs, but apparently she does.
Dude, she's funny. That's awesome.
She's hilarious.
Her, yeah.
Between you and I and the 32 people who listen, the one that was cool is 2 days before us, Kinane released an album.
Kyle Kinane released another one?
It may have been just one of his old ones that got re-released under his rights now or something.
Oh, okay. Because
it was #3 for all day, so it was cool that we were able to edge him out too. But yeah, he hit #1 and charted at #1 in the charts, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And Friday night, I got to do a spot at Scotty's. It was fun, tough crowd.
Scotty's is where?
In Springfield, New Jersey.
All right.
But tough crowd. Like one woman just wouldn't stop talking the whole time after every joke. Like not engaging, not heckling, but just commenting on the jokes to her friends. And at one point, I was like, "Anybody know the Catholic Church has its own station?" And she said, "EWTN. I love it. I watch it every day. My favorite show is Grace Girls. I watch it every morning." I go, "You watch Grace Girls every morning?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Do you talk through that whole fucking thing too and ruin it for everybody around you?" And just went in on her, and the whole crowd loved it. And in the last 15
She's
minutes,
a woman of God,
yeah, she met him
and you're
that
a
day.
man of the cloth.
I said, "I am him."
Oh no!
No, I said, "Holy Spirit, come into me."
Did you apologize afterwards because you're a good religious boy?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when I found out it was the wife's or the owner's wife's best friend. But
Oh no!
yeah, no, I apologized. And then Saturday, I think I told you this. I did a little cannonball run. Started in Coscob, Connecticut for the secret show. They say it's the last one. I'm thinking it's like Motley Crue's last four, where there's going to be at least a dozen.
Did Motley Crue also play in their own backyard?
Yeah, believe it or not, fucking Tommy Lee was there. I almost made a joke that could get me in trouble.
Go for it.
No, Tommy Lee banged Mead's ex when she showed up. So that way she didn't have to break a TV this time. But
Oh, that's a deep cut that I don't even get, but okay, that's
it was
good.
a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And then it's cool to see those people. But if it's
How about I know it's 32 people and we just take it for granted, but how about you tell them like what that meant? What is a secret show? What's going on? What were you doing?
We do not take those 32 for granted. We love each and every
Well,
one.
no, but you just said some guy that with no one knows that or
so
broke a TV. Like it's a secret show in the backyard of this guy's house that he gets comedians from Bobby's World, kind of the compound type world, coming down and performing at it for fans.
The simplest explanation is at the height of the pandemic, a lot of the comedians who worked at Compound and were at that level relied on set pay. So Mead set up a show way before Matt Mead, a fan of Compound, set up a show way before like things were allowed to be open for all the fans of the network to come, and you could have a tip jar, and basically we all got to perform and have a normal day. And it continued, but kind of reached its limit in his backyard, so they did one last one, and that's the main reason I went, was just to thank those guys. Like literally that's where Gino figured out I was funny.
I went to one of them, and it kind of becomes more of a meet and greet with people, for the people who watch those shows, to meet the person they've been chatting with or sharing their lives with every day with through laughing in real person. So as a comedy show, it's not like the most ideal situation, but as a really cool get to know your fans and they become your friends, it's a pretty cool setup that they do. And for the most part, they are pretty supportive. Problem is, it's that you're in a backyard, so it's during the day, so people are drinking and getting high, whatever. So the longer the show goes, the harder it is to pay attention. But the comics are also just there to have fun, be treated like superstars, and some of them have, I'm not trying to say it a bad way, some of them never really had fanfare. So it's kind of cool for them to have someone saying, "Hey, you're great. I love when you do this," and then sit there with I can't eat macaroni salad as an audience member. I'm sorry. That's just not me. But it's awesome what they did. When I did it, I performed it. I ran away. I had to go do comics that time. And I was like, good, I get to go do the casino right after this. But it's cool that they had that happening. I know it's for Matt Mead's birthday, who's been on this show before back in the day. We did like the retail like a long time ago. And Mead's a great dude. So
yeah,
happy
great
birthday.
Guy, super supportive. And it was definitely for me the first time I performed for people who knew who I was. Like that's a great way of putting it. It was a unique experience, and thankfully because I had to run down to Jersey, I got to go second. So they were still into it, and they headlined.
And Jim Florentine was on it, right?
Yeah, headlined cool. Florentine, so people were excited and kind of stayed into it the whole time, which was good. And then
which is great for them, but terrible for Florentine.
Yeah. And then I got the Scotties, had a great show. Got to perform with some new people like Fred Rubino. Keanu was there.
Keanu being Gino's girlfriend, but also a comedian, right?
Yeah, she hosted.
Right.
And she did well. And then we had Andrew Rich, who had a great set. He's a
young comedian.
Yeah, he's trying. No, I mean he's a little older than me, but he's newer to comedy.
That's what I meant.
So yeah, my bad.
Young and seasoning.
But he did 10 minutes and just was ready to go, which was fun. And Fred Rubino did stuff. He was great. And I did a great set, probably the best one I've had in a while, which was cool.
Nice. And then that was your one big day. What'd you do the next day? Just rest while you're a little driving around? That's a lot of driving.
You would think I would rest, but I got up at 9, drove to Long Island to pick up Roy Harder to do the Davy Max sports program.
Yeah, but you enjoy doing that show. So
not only do I enjoy that show, Roy and I comment this all the time. Sometimes when we get there, we're disappointed the drive there's over because we enjoy just kind of listening to music and vibing with each other's company.
You
So
don't
a
have a
great
ride.
day.
You don't have a ride back.
I give him a ride back too, but it's the ride there, like the anticipation we're about to do the show. It's
Oh, okay.
exciting. The ride back's fun too, but it's more chill and there's like the adrenaline dump.
Nice.
But and then I found out Sunday that at 9 a.m. this Wednesday on Raw Dog Comedy, Just a Hobby will be making its debut, the official EP coming from your boy Bobby Tamburo. So
Nice.
if you have Sirius, check it out. If you don't, you're not missing much.
When will it be on other stuff?
It's just going to be a serious thing for now. Maybe it'll find its way on Pandora at some
It's
point.
funny because comedy's not a serious thing. Hey,
Oh, that's good. Can I use that?
yeah, no one else is.
I just burned all my material.
I got this joke down. It's great. Last night I was doing hosting the second round of the contest, and I've been working on some new things, but I just didn't really this the way the contest works is like I go up and I do like 5 minutes up front, and then 6 comics are doing 10 minutes each. So I don't really want to do any material or anything up front more than just get the crowd aware something's happening, because I don't want to beat them up and then make the crowd in a weird spot before the show. I don't want to not do anything and not to get them in a listening mode, but I also don't want to change. I just want to, like, I'm there to be serviceable. My main goal is to say the names, get them up, and then when it's over, do whatever amount of time it takes to drop the checks, tabulate the scores. So when I was going to go back up and do that, I was like, I'm just going to do crowd work and just think of ideas. But it became me guessing, not really guessing, but me saying what porn niche I thought every couple in the casino adapted in their bedrooms. And there was these 2 people that were probably in their 80s. The woman looked like she had died. Like she had Gorbachev splotch face, she had all that. And I was just like, can you guys even fuck? And then she goes, yes, we can. He doesn't stop. And I was like, goddamn Viagra. And she just smiled. I go, stupid technology. She's like, yep. I go, he looks like an elephant. His penis is spotted like one too. And now he's just attacking you. I go, how hot is it when he rips off your depends with his teeth? And the whole crowd's like, ah. But they were laughing, having fun. I turned to one guy and I go, I like that you're like a bald old man who looks sad, but also looks like he's down with any kind of pegging. And his wife just holds his hand. I'm like, no. Did I guess that? I'm like, I'm the greatest carnival worker. So they're sending me the tape. Like, I probably got a couple little dumb bits out of it, but it was just fun going around doing after the contest. I was like,
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah. It was just like, fuck it. I didn't give a shit. I was like, whatever. I'm just doing this. And they were all like, it was like 40 to 65. Yeah.
Let me tell you, Oates, he tears down that wall. And then I yell, Egeinen Berliner.
Who's this voice?
The old lady.
Oh.
Get it? Gorbachev, he tore down that wall, and then
Right.
Egon and Berliner.
Right, but tear down that wall was Reagan, who didn't sound like that, so I didn't know what that voice was.
It was the old lady. She smoked for Pall Malls in my fantasy.
Oh, the old lady was also there she was at my show and at the tearing down of the Berlin Wall.
She was Gorbachev. She gets turned on.
She had Gorbachev splotch. She wasn't Gorbachev.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Yeah, she had the splotch.
I thought he was dead anyway.
Yeah, I think she is too.
Turns out they just exiled him because he went full trans.
That's what they were doing on Chaz AJ this morning before I came on. I could hear them talking about
Exiling people for being trans?
The dead.
Damn, FM got wild.
It's nuts. From 6 to 7, they can do what they want. But once traffic gets picked up, they got to stop. But because Tony Bennett died, you said dead people. They were doing a death pool where they put money in and stuff. So they had to reset because this one guy from Danbury won $100. So they had to pick. It's weird just to hear the callers. Like, you can know they're Googling like who's close to death and trying to. It was crazy. But one guy just goes, Joe Biden. And they're like, that'd be wild. He's like, it's gotta happen.
It's $100, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing the financial decisions in my head.
I wasn't involved in it, but my guess would have been Phil Collins. He's had really bad medical the last couple of years. His daughters were talking a lot of shit about him. The stress plus the medical, you never know.
Mine would have been Adam 22.
See, I like how you went that route. Chaz's wife called up and said, Britney Spears. Like, yo, she's losing it. That's wild. She is not old. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to get that one right.
The Call Me Outside girl.
Catch me outside.
How about that?
Now she's calling me. She got older.
Yeah.
You're not gonna catch me now. You can call. I'll be outside. You can call me there. I don't take phone calls. You can text me outside.
How about that?
How about that? How about that? That is, man. Did we talk about Tom Segura's new special on here?
No,
I didn't like it, and I love Tom Segura.
I haven't seen it.
It's on Netflix. It's called Sledgehammer. It's not. I mean, he's funny, so it's not. It's not that it's not funny. It just feels like he just put out a special where it's finally gotten to the point where he's like, he's naming. Was that Tom Segura? He's like, "Fuck you, I heard Pat." Like, no, I'm kidding. I was like,
You tell that son of a bitch if he ever wants to work again, he changes his fucking opinion now.
it was like he either told stories that he's already told on podcasts you watch, which I don't like when comics do that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get that 5-6 years ago. Now, most of your audience, your support base knows. It used to be you were a comedian, and then people found out about your podcast. Now, it really is. They watch your podcast and they check out your comedy afterwards. You know what I mean? It's really become the opposite. So to tell stories you've told several times by either being on some other podcast or your own, it shouldn't be a bit. And then the other ones were just kind of like name dropping or story type things that he kind of turned into a story to get applause more than laughs. And I'm like, that's not really usually him. So I was like, I was
Weird.
I was a little let down by it. Like he told a story about Joey Diaz. I'm like, why would that be in your special?
Whoa, 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 whoa. One of my favorite Nate Bargatze jokes is about Louis J. Gomez.
Right, but it's not based on knowing who Louis J. Gomez is.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
No, I know you're saying.
what you're saying.
I saw that. That's the special I saw live. Bargaze at
still-
the Gramercy. I was there at the theater watching that, and I knew Louis, and it was cool that he said the name, but it was like not worth the thing. You know, you could say anybody, and it wouldn't have mattered.
No, you're absolutely right. That album is still number 4 on iTunes
Yeah, it's an awesome album.
right
But
now.
it's not because of Louis J. Gomez. But this joke is like, do you know who Joey Diaz is? Joey Diaz is this. Joey Diaz gave me drugs. Joey Diaz did this to me. It's just like, this sounds like a story that Joey Diaz should be telling.
I think he stole Bert's joke.
It's a different one than Bert's, but it's similar than what Bert did. You know what I mean? And I don't like that thing, or like the fact that Brad Pitt came to one of his shows. He made a whole joke about how they're really good friends and this, and that, whatever. They made out. It's like he's made that joke a million times on his other shows. But when Brad Pitt did come to his show, it's like it's something you've just said. It's like you're almost. It's one thing to say, okay, he was just put out a special, but he was. Everybody was talking about he went on this most intense world tour where he did like. In a year, he did like 250 something days. It was like insanity what he did. And this is all he came up with. And then he did a documentary that he put on YouTube about the making of it. And it was a mockumentary. And they just made fun of himself. And I'm like, what a waste of time. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't even like that funny. It was just like, I'm the greatest. I treat all my staff like shit. And they're like, yeah, that's how happened. Like the opener's like, yeah, we don't get paid by Tom. And he makes us pay for our own airfare. And we can't fly on the plane with him, but that's while being with Tom. It's like this. What is this? I don't do this on your mom's house. You know what I mean? Do this on your podcast channel. Don't do this as a documentary, quote unquote documentary inside scoop of your fucking album you put out.
Yeah.
Then he spent all this money on the intro and outro songs. He talks about. He says basically he got Sledgehammer, the Peter Gabriel song, to be the intro song. And then he got a Gangstar song to be the closing song. And he said he could have bought 2 cars with the music he spent on each of one of those things. It's like, why say that out loud? Like, it's a weird brag for like when you know your audience is poor whites. That's who his audience is. You don't need to. Yeah, I know it's part of your humor, but then when you're just literally bragging about what you did for the album, it's like he has listeners that can't afford cars or rent. And he's like, oh, I just got Sledgehammer. And they're the ones who pay for your pod. I may be overthinking it, but it put a bad taste in my mouth. And I've always liked the guy.
Yeah, especially when his whole thing wasn't being that, if that makes any sense.
Right,
like,
it
was
is.
almost mocking people who took themselves too seriously, and then it feels like he went full Dane Cook.
The whole joke between the whole thing, I'm not, like I said, I've never been a Kreischer guy, and I know you do like him, but like people that like to watch the two of them together, the whole thing is that Bert Kreischer is the over the top braggadocious idiot, and Tom is the voice of reason. That's why their odd couple thing works, especially now that Tom's gotten in better shape and Bert is fat and all that kind of stuff. For Tom to just be as delusional now is weird. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, and now is Bert going to be the one who takes life seriously and is down to earth?
did you see? I don't know if you saw any clips of it. You can look it up. But like their latest podcast they did together, Bert is such a moron, but he he feels like he didn't get his chance to be gay if he needed to be because all kids now it's okay for them to just be gay and it's an opportunity for them to be gay. So no, but he was like, it's not like a joke that it's this you're watching a mental ill person not understand that everything in the media in the media and the woke Twitter is not 100% real. He's like, every kid, it's okay for them to be gay or bisexual, whatever. That wasn't offered to me. And then Tom had to be like, "What, do you get boners when you see men?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "Then you're not gay." He's like, "But I was never offered the opportunity. What if I've missed that?" And then he talked about how he feels bad because people that work hard don't chase their dreams, and he just chases his dream, and he doesn't have to have a dumb life like them. It's like, what are you saying out loud to the people that have funded you? You have a movie out you hoping they'll go see. It's I don't know. Sometimes I think podcasting does get in the way of these guys' businesses.
I think the podcast bubble's about to burst.
I don't think I think for comedians it is, but I don't think for everything else. I think podcasting is going to be radio.
Okay. Yeah. What I meant by that is I think the next step's about to happen. Like, it's at the point where you can make your own TV show pretty cheap. I think every podcast is going to start. Not that it worked out great for them, but like the Come Town, they're going to video, they're working a real show. I could see that being the way of the future.
Kind of. I know what you're saying. I mean, they're already doing it by putting their specials on YouTube's just going to become like cable, and then you can do it on your own websites too. And I get all that. I just think that young people are not taking in sitcom or television shows anymore the way even I think your age is the last generation to take that in, and it's more of just downloadable content when you need content. Everything's, even in humor, everything's a tutorial. I think the wave of the future is like, I work for a classic rock station. I don't understand when people call up and say, "Are you taking requests?" It's like, why would you need me to? Just go to, I don't say to them, like, just go to Spotify and just find the 38 special song you want, and you can hear as many times as you want to. But what I do think is still needed is two things: local talk, because that's not covered in anything. I think radio could be very good at covering local shit more. Like, people still want to know what's going on in their local schools and their local news and their local sports and their local weather and all those things. And you're not going to find that on Joe Rogan. You're not going to find that in anything else. So I think you can do it that way. But the other thing is the deep dive into shit. I think a guy who's been a classic rock music DJ for 30 years can now, let's say you're a young kid, you watch Stranger Things and you just found out about Metallica. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what happened to a lot of people a couple of years ago. A lot of kids, my son and daughter knew who they were, but their friends never knew of Metallica. Stranger Things played Master of Puppets. Everyone went nuts with that. It went to TikTok, whatever. And they're like, who is this band? And now if you had an interest, and I'm a classic rock guy, I noticed that, and I do a podcast, I deep dive and have conversations about each song and play a song a little bit and talk to either Lars or whoever. And then now you can just go check out and learn this thing. Instead of listening to classic rock, it can be literally a breakdown. You just make a million episodes. You just, like, when black people like respond to like, "I never saw Leonard Skinner for the first time." But you do that with a guy with actual knowledge, and it almost becomes like the MTV thing of the past, where you're getting like that Matt Pinfield type guy who's like, "I have all the knowledge of the world," this thing, like an Eddie Trunk, people like that who literally could do that. And you can do that with everything, with movies, with TV. And I think that's the wave of the podcast now, where you're literally like, when you would watch like remember when Superman, when they got the crystal and he needed knowledge, he'd put it in. He goes, I need to know about, that planet. And he'd just pop it in and they just have a fucking video for him. Like, and it's just his dad going, this is about red crystals and dancing. I think you'd be like, oh, what's that? What the fuck was Footloose? And now you just go to a podcast and like Kevin Bacon was a dork and he danced around. You're like, okay, now I know about Footloose.
That's a fair point too.
I think that's kind of the future.
The reason I was thinking more of like a TV show model is it seems like even podcasts these days, the talking ones are like designed to get short minute clips to put on YouTube. So I think if you do like attention span wise, you could switch things up literally.
No, you're right. And I think they will still record the long show. Is that what you're saying? But I don't think it'll even be available except behind a paywall in long format. I think everything will be 12 clips of it.
Yep.
And that will be just the way they do it. Yeah. And
there's going to be one tier to see it live with everything together. And then there's going to be one tier with just the 12-second clips cut out.
Like right now, YouTube Shorts is the future. Like that's how people want to consume their shit. Like I can walk instead of if I see a short of Joe Rogan talking to Tom Segura and it's funny for 30 seconds, then I will go choose to go watch the full thing. But if not, I can also see like this last year was the first year I was really up on basketball again in a while. And the main reason was because YouTube has a thing called House of Highlights, and they were doing the last 2 minutes of all tight games. And they just cut everything, they played the last 2 minutes, and I could watch the end. And then went into the playoffs and just did highlights of every big basket. So it was 15 minutes before I went on radio in the morning. I could watch 15 minutes and know the 3-hour game and discuss it on the air like I watched the entire fucking game. But then later on, I can go find the whole game and then watch it later if I wanted to.
They used to do that with baseball on ESPN way back in the day.
Yeah.
Just show you the pitch that mattered.
Yep.
And
now they do that on things.
You could watch all the games. Yeah. But now you can do it on YouTube and
you can pick them up anywhere. And there's certain places like MLB.com and stuff will even have like more in depth, and you can like listen to people, experts, guys who play whatever, talk about those things, but in short clips instead of having to watch Sports Center and watch the same people talk about it over and over, but only give their agenda of the thing. Even those things, I think anything that's a news network or a talk show is kind of going to be gone because people don't want that filler in between. And also, the service is different. It was the way of getting the word out about a thing, and now it's just recapping the thing you already know about. Nobody's watching, Jennifer Lawrence's new movie. She doesn't need to go on all the late night shows so you know the movie exists. You've seen 8,000 trailers from every YouTube commercial you watch and every podcast you watch, whatever. Now you want to hear her talk about what happened on the set of the movie you already know about.
Yeah, exactly. There's the summary tier, and then there's the over analysis. Good point.
Yeah.
All right, let's reshape our podcast now.
Yeah, this is all clips.
You do the summary. I'll do the over analysis. Bullshit.
I'm over. He's analysis.
Oh, you're listening to 95.9 The Buzz.
I'm anal Alice. No, it's analysis. Radio. That's all.
Thank you, Bobby the Great.
Dude, there's a afternoon like Connecticut legend, the guy Mike Lapatino. So when I was in the afternoons, he was at PLR and I was in the small little thing. So we chat for a minute. He's like a wild guy. So he just walks by the studio. I have my door open and he looks at me enough. You can tell he's trying to get me to just look at him. And I look and he's just kind of bent over a little bit. He's a 60-something-year-old man and he's just itching like by his ankle. And I go, what's wrong? He goes, oh, I'm just scratching my dick. And then walks away. And I'm like, you know what? I appreciate this man's existence.
That's great humor.
Yeah, and then didn't talk to me for 2 hours.
Even funnier.
That's it. That's what you get. And
that's what I got for you today.
I actually have a new bit. I'll get right to you. I'm sorry. I have a new bit I'm working on because he came into me the first day. He goes, Pat, yeah, what's up, man? He goes, I like when a comedian's here because I can say what I want. And he looks around and he closes the door. Now, like to me, that's always crazy. That's like an HR nightmare. He didn't say anything wrong, but he just goes, God damn it. I am so tired of not being able to use the word gay. And I'm like, well, you can't. He goes, I just want the word gay. He's like, you ever see that video back in the day of David Bowie and Mick Jagger dancing in the streets? Like, yeah. He goes, gay. He's like, I want to call that gay. He goes, we need to take that word back. And I was like, well,
it's down to you and me, brother. I got these 2 AR-15s and a bunch of mags.
So then when he walked away saying his little bit, I just wrote it down and I went on to an open mic that night and I tried it out with my version where I say he says that and I go, so the conversation continues in the joke. And I'm like, so if they're not gay, what do you call two men who have sex together? And he goes, butt fuckers. And
Fair
then
enough.
I go, wait, what about women who like anal? What do you call that? He goes, fucking cool. And I've been doing that joke and it's
That's a
been
great
working.
joke.
It's like, so,
That is
like,
a
thank
great
you, sir.
joke.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. I was just gonna say, speaking of Connecticut legends, does Dan Brown watch this?
Does Dan Brown know a Connecticut legend?
Oh, I thought he was the Connecticut legend.
No. Dan, I don't know. I don't think so.
Well,
Sometimes.
here's how we'll find out. So you found out when we invited him that I had already texted him. That's because I'm doing.
If he does watch it, he doesn't watch it all the way through, so you won't get to this point.
It's because I'm doing a new thing with Dan Brown.
Nice.
It's called Aggressive Friendship, where just randomly, like once a month.
Randomly, you make him animate something for you.
No. He does animate it.
No, I'm
That would be
kidding.
great though. But like randomly, maybe twice a month, but about once, I just give him super aggressive compliments for like a series of 5 messages, and then just don't reach out. And then boom, I'm back in super aggressive friendship.
Oh, he's just gonna ask you one day if you're gay. That's gonna be it. Yeah, is Bobby like men? Like why, Dan? I don't know. He just keeps giving me compliments and then plays hard to get. That's what I'm gonna get out of that.
Also, he seems a little retarded, and that seems who's attracted to me, Pat. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just needed to check.
Does he know are we working at a grocery store together? Look back at earlier episodes and get that. I think we did it. Bobby plug shit.
Damn. Check out Just the Hobby.
Well, it's 10:15 already.
9 a.m. Wednesday, Raw Dog. 10 a.m. Friday, Raw Dog. 6 p.m. Friday, Raw Dog.
These are crazy times to just be saying a lot.
Check it out.
Yeah, Bob. Go to Bobby's page. I'm sure he'll put the times up so you can don't have to jot them down like the weird Powerball you just did, like 9 a.m., 6 a.m.
And probably equally important, August 4th. The Four Horsemen are riding at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone. I'm hosting. They're recording an album. Come check it out if you're in the area. Get your tickets at eventbrite.com/Harrisburg Comedy Zone.
The Four Horsemen being 4 guys who've been on the show before. Glessner and Mike O'Donnell have been on a bunch of times. They're hilarious. Manny Santiago, I think, is just back to doing comedy after basically having a baby. And then we had Damian Robinson on once too. But great show. Bobby's hosting, I believe. So go check that out and support them. And I think that's going to be recorded for a future thing, right?
I believe so.
Nice. That'd be really cool. Nice. But even if it doesn't, it's 4 great young comics. Go check them out. What do I got? August 5th, I'm in Prospect, Connecticut. I got AJ with me and doing a show there. Listen to me Thursday on Jazz and AJ from 7 to 10. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast here on YouTube. Subscribe, like, all the things you do, whatever.
We're so close to being able to go live, folks.
Yeah, or at least get money from you. I don't care about live. Let me take your money.
Money.
But yeah. So yeah, subscribe to that. Also get on the Patreon. We have fun things on there. I've been doing this other little podcast myself, just a quick rant thing called One Thing. I've been putting episodes up there, so go check that out as well. Plus other episodes of this, you get quicker and faster. And also, if you want audio of these shows and not the video, that's over on the Patreon as well. Every time the episodes come out, so go over there. It's only for $3 a month, so go check that out on the POS Podcast Patreon. Bobby,
if you can't beat them, or if you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.
and then beat him again.